Some teams start off the season hot and then fall apart down the stretch, while others start slower and somehow manage to figure it all out as the season goes on. And that's the case for the Green Bay Packers. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but this Green Bay Packers team is not at all the same one that we saw at the beginning of the season. We've seen a ton of improvements from Jordan Love and really this entire roster. So much of the talent on the offense was super young, and yes, it took them a little bit to mature, but they've been so much better in recent weeks. The Packers have won 3 straight in 4 of their last 5 games. Their last 2 wins really speak volumes to the turnaround of this team because they came against the Lions on Thanksgiving and then they beat the Chiefs in prime time. 2 teams that are some of the best in their conferences, even if the Lions are kind of suspect right now. Video on that coming later this week. But man, that Sunday night football game between the Packers and Chiefs was great. Now, I'm going to be honest, coming into this game, I did not expect the Green Bay Packers to win it. Also, can we all just agree that the officiating in this game was absolutely terrible? Like, from both ends. Like, of course, the Packers ended up winning the game, probably because of a couple missed PIs, but that unnecessary roughness call on Patrick Mahomes was just ridiculous. I won't go too far into it. You guys know about it. You've been on Twitter, but terrible. Just terrible. Jordan Love, however, was not terrible. Jordan Love looked confident from the jump, and I loved seeing that from him. On top of that, the Packers defense did a really good job on getting to Mahomes and really shutting him down, but everything really seemed to be clicking for the Packers, and a lot of the credit has to go to Matt LaFleur. What he's been able to do with this roster, and specifically Jordan Love, no doubt in my mind puts him in the Coach of the Year talks. This is a team that started the season 2-5 and is now 6-6 and inside the playoff picture. The whole team turnaround this year has just been so much fun to watch. He's really helped mold Love into the franchise quarterback that they knew he could be when they took him back at the 2020 NFL draft. And Jordan Love played damn good against the Kansas City Chiefs. Jordan Love played really well in this game, and even more impressively, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. He had 267 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, when it comes to Jordan Love, he has been very up and down this season, but it certainly helped him that his wide receivers have improved. Romeo Doubs has played better than his rookie season. He had 425 yards and 3 touchdowns as a 4th-round rookie, and this season, he already has 505 yards and 7 touchdowns. Now, it's not like the Packers have this one guy that's their top definitive number 1 wide receiver. It's really just been a collective effort from a bunch of different guys that have felt like they've slowly improved week after week. So, like I said, Green Bay took Romeo Doubs last season, but they also took Christian Watson. Watson was a 2nd rounder, and he had 611 yards and 7 touchdowns last season, and this season has 422 and 5 touchdowns. Now, context matters when it comes to Christian Watson. Injuries have really been an issue for him this year, so his production is a bit down. But with that, that's left a void for more of the Packers' young wide receivers to show out. And they have a plethora of young wide receivers. They just drafted 3 wide receivers in the 2023 class, and it makes sense. They knew they had a wide receiver problem, and they went out in the draft and tried to fix it. Grant Dubose is on the practice squad, but then there's Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks. Reed leads the team with 513 yards and has 5 touchdowns. Now, coming out of Michigan State, I knew the guy could ball, but I gotta be honest, I didn't really expect him to get as much usage in the league as he has been, but good for him for real though. Then there's Dontavian Wicks, who has 374 yards and a touchdown. He's a UVA guy, so gotta shout out the state that I'm from, shout out Virginia. They also drafted tight end Luke Musgrave, who has 341 yards and a touchdown. Like I said, there isn't exactly a star wide receiver in Green Bay, but I think the Packers clearly knew that they had an issue at wide receiver and used a lot of draft capital in the past few drafts to attempt to fix it. It was obviously a big topic when Aaron Rodgers was there, but Green Bay is still working on fixing that problem. The Packers know that they need to bolster that position if they want to build around an inexperienced quarterback, and they have built around him to an extent, but it's still really hard to know everything about Jordan Love though. This year, he's passed for 2,866 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He's been really good down the stretch, but is that good enough for him to truly be the future in Green Bay? Now, I know it's hard to really tell just because of how little we've seen of him so far this season, but from the small sample size that we have, I do gotta say, I do believe in Jordan Love being the franchise quarterback of this team. Nobody gets as lucky at the quarterback position as the Green Bay Packers, and somehow, some way, it seems like they found another gem. Now, I'm not saying Jordan Love is perfect. He's not by any means, but neither was Brett Favre and neither was Aaron Rodgers. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes here or there. But I truly believe if the Packers can just try to continue to build around Jordan Love, he can thrive in Green Bay. Now, like we addressed a bit earlier, solidifying the wide receiver position is a key part in that building process, and they definitely need to do that. I do think Christian Watson could mold into a really solid wide receiver one. He's slowly been coming along, and especially in that Chiefs game, he just looked fantastic. I don't know, this is a young team with a lot of young talent that could shape in to be some top-end talent in the league in a couple years, but right now it's just a lot of guys that you really haven't heard of that much. But honestly, that doesn't seem to matter to Green Bay because they've still been winning, and a lot of that does come down to Jordan Love. And I gotta say, I was pretty unsure about Jordan Love coming into this year. I didn't know if I was fully bought in or not. I kind of just wanted to wait and see. But Jackson, on the other hand, has been in love with Jordan Love since the dude got drafted back in 2020 because he's a maniac. I was very much under the impression that I had to see it to believe it. And after watching these past couple weeks, I'm starting to believe. This dude has all the tools to be an amazing quarterback in the NFL. Now, it's all about if he can put those tools together and consistently win in this league. Before the season, Green Bay gave him a $22.5 million one-year deal. He could get franchise tagged after the season theoretically, or the Packers could get him on a long-term deal. The thing is, I just don't think you know enough about Jordan Love yet, and this season has been an absolute roller coaster for him. They beat the Bears to open the season, and at that point, it felt like the Packers were still the Packers. Turns out the Bears aren't very good anyways, but Love threw for 3 touchdowns and looked good regardless. And then from there, it got a bit confusing. They lost to the Falcons by 1 and then beat the Saints by 1. Then they went on to lose 4 straight to the Lions, Raiders, Broncos, and Vikings. Before the 4-game losing streak, they were definitely viewed differently, but a lot of people said that the Packers' young guys just needed some time and they would get better as the season goes on. And clearly, those people were right. Green Bay blew out the Rams, and they really needed that win, but they did go on to lose to the Steelers the next week. But then they rattled off 3 straight wins. They beat the Chargers, the Lions on Thanksgiving, and then obviously the Chiefs. That's back-to-back quality wins. And suddenly the Packers are 6-6, second in the NFC North, and damn it if they aren't going to make the playoffs. I mean, look at the end of their schedule. They play the Giants, Buccaneers, Panthers, Vikings, and Bears. Those are all 5 winnable games. It's entirely possible that the Packers are favored in each of those games, and they somehow finish the season at like 9-7 or 10-6, depending on how those shake out. Like, I'm not saying this Packers team is like that good, or even really truly deserving to make the postseason in the first place, but it sure does look like they're gonna be there. And while the beginning of the season didn't look too good, they're really shaping into a competitive team now. Now, they won't get a home game. The Lions are probably gonna win the division, but that's still huge for Green Bay. They went 8-9 a season ago and then traded away Aaron Rodgers. For Green Bay to now make the postseason and the Jets be in absolute despair, it would certainly be something. I do think it still hurts a lot that the Packers don't get the Jets' first-round picks because Rodgers didn't play enough snaps, but Green Bay will take making the playoffs as a consolation prize any day. I do think it's real that Jordan Love can be the future franchise quarterback in Green Bay, and that's a win in and of itself. Who knows what the future actually holds? Who knows what the future actually holds? But the Packers just keep getting better, and so does Jordan Love. And with how it's going, who knows what this team looks like with a few more games or even a season under their belt. Thank you guys for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you guys like this one, make sure to smash that like button. And if you don't already, subscribe to the channel down below and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload by us. If you want more things J&D, follow us on socials at JDProdNFL. And if you want more things from me, follow me on my socials down at the bottom of the screen here because sometimes I say fun stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Packers down below. Are you guys truly bought in on Jordan Love, or are you still kind of not sold on him? I like him. I think he could be very good for this team. He has all the tools to do it. Now it's really all about if he can put it all together. Let me know what you guys think about him down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.